Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Galaxy here. Now, this is going to be somewhat of a different video to what I'd normally post. This is going to be more of a helpful video to teach you some fun mechanical tricks that I sometimes go for in casual games. I've been reading through some comments on the OP videos, and speaking of that actually, I just want to say a massive thank you to all your kind words and support. It really does motivate me and gets me wanting to making more videos, especially on the OP videos. We have just surpassed 80,000 subscribers, which is just absolutely just insane. I can't thank you all enough. But as I was saying about the comments, there was a few players that they said they wanted to learn more and the mechanics of what I do in the OP videos. Like this comment right here, for example, from Red Devil 399, and he says, I hate how he says every car is OP. We get it, you're too good. I don't agree on the too good part, and come on, is that really like a meme now? Like, come on, I hate how he says every car is OP, but it's whatever. But then he starts to mention to what I was just talking about, like actually wanting to improve and learning more, which is understandable, honestly, and that's why I'm making this video. Just this like video just for fun. Just to note, a lot of players probably won't be playing Rumble nowadays. However, this video is for those that still enjoy the game mode like myself and would like to learn some fun tricks. I'm pretty sure everyone already knows these tricks. However, this is aimed towards new players and those that haven't played a lot of Rumble but would like to get into it. Additionally, Psyonix has just announced that Rumble, Dropshot and Hoops and the other game modes will have a ranked playlist, so that's definitely something to be looking forward to. I'm quite excited for that, honestly. But without further ado, I'm going to get into every Rumble power-up and give a little tip for each one. Alright, so starting off with the Haymaker, what I love doing for this power-up is to absolutely boom the ball, making it go really fast towards the opponent's goal. What I normally go for when I have the chance is keeping the ball rolling on the ground. It doesn't even need to roll fast, you just need to keep it close to you, and from here you just do a dodge forward into the ball, and as soon as you make that contact, you can use that Haymaker, and then bang, it just goes flying. It can really put your opponents off guard, and it just creates a surprise goal if they're not that fast enough to counter. A few things though, you don't want the ball to be bouncing. If that happens, then the ball will fly straight up over the opponent's goal rather than staying low. This is great if you need to make a really powerful clear, a hit on the ball, and then an immediate follow-up with the Haymaker. Be sure not to hold on to the Haymaker for too long. Keeping it unused is going to cripple your team, and eventually your opponent's is going to create an offensive chance to score a goal, and by that time you've already used the Haymaker too late. I mean, you could trust me on this one. I've had this happen like way too often in my Rumble games. Okay, so next up is the grappling hook. Now this is a really unpredictable item for everyone. One cheeky thing I really like doing is cutting around the ball and then using that grappling hook to send the ball where you originally want to shoot it. It's great because everyone is going to be like, oh, what is he doing? And then just, oh, holy cow, he just launched it unexpectedly. Also, another thing I want to add in is launching the ball up into the air when you are really close to the ball, specifically underneath the ball, maybe if you are dribbling, for example. Both the ball and yourself gets launched, and it creates a really good opportunity for several aerial plays. I have yet to actually score one of these myself, however I bet you guys are able to get real creative with this, and I don't think I've ever seen goals like this being scored before. Then again, I could be wrong. Can you imagine if you grappled the ball and yourself up and you land on the ceiling, doing the new shuffle, ceiling shuffle mechanic that's been discovered recently? I mean, jeez, I don't know, I feel like you could create a lot of possibilities with this. And so moving up, we've got the plunger. Similar to the grappling hook, you can unexpectedly use it, but in a more different way. Of course, you could always be that guy and just uses the plunger for the instant goal. I mean, hey, a goal is a goal, am I right? But what you can do is if you want to be fancy with it, you could fly ahead of the ball, and while still in the range, when you can still activate the plunger, using the plunger will get the ball towards you, creating a self-redirect. These can actually be pretty hard to do, but once you actually nail them, they can actually look really clean. But as I said, they are really tough to get down, like in an actual match. Next up is the magnet, or otherwise known as the magnetizer. I mean, okay, this is a personal favorite power-up of mine. If you've seen my OP videos, I have several magnet clips because they are super satisfying when you score them. What I like to do is be very boost conservative. You want to have, I'd say, at least over 80 boost to make an aerial play with it. So what you do is get real close to the ball, and from there, you activate the magnet and begin to aerial with it. Now by aerialing, this is going to make it hard for your opponents to counter you. What you can also do is start off the wall, or you could begin yourself onto the ceiling for a cheeky flip reset. It just creates a load of fun possibilities. However, these are actually pretty tough to score, believe it or not. People think, oh, these are easy to score. Actually, not really. These can easily be countered with other power-ups, such as the freeze, grappling hook, plunger, the boot, just to name a few. So you have to keep that in mind. Okay, so next up is the power hitter, or as I like to call it, the gold fist, Thanos power. But anyway, not much to say about this one. You can keep it a surprise for when you're about to hit the ball and activate it at the last second to deliver a powerful shot. One thing I love to do is to get into a redirect position. So the same principle here. Last second you activate the gold fist and bang! Extremely fast redirect into the goal. That would actually be insane. I'd love to see if you guys can actually do one of these shots. Next up we've got the spikes. So this power up is, yep, well known for being that cheap one that can generate easy goals, but however, you can be stylish with it by actually timing it carefully with a flick that catches your opponents off guard, just because they simply don't expect it and only you know when the timing is right. What you want to look for is the timing for when the spikes are going to be removed from your car, so be sure to keep an eye on your spike's duration. Use this to help you decide on when to flick the ball at the right time. I learned this little trick from Kronovi actually. He played a Rumble show match on Johnny Boy's stream and he managed to flick the ball when the spike timer ran out.
Extremely fancy, and this should be a goal by Crow. Polito is not in a good position. Oh my word, what a play! The timing! Kronovi with the spikes throw. Have you ever seen this before?
It looks simple, but it's actually hard to execute well. I personally like to go up the ceiling for this, just to be even more extra. I mean, that's just me. What else can I add to this? Practice does make perfect when accomplishing this like little mechanic right here, obviously. It just takes a bit of practice to get the timing right. So next up is the freeze. This is great as a defensive power-up. Only you know when it's going to be frozen, unless if you're communicating via voice chat with friends. On offense, it's the same thing essentially, but once the ball is frozen in the air, you don't want to rush too fast to the ball. More often than not, you will miss the ball completely. I've done this way too many times, and it's actually better to take the time jumping for it because the ball is completely stationary and it's not moving how everyone is used to. A good way of practicing this is in the training mode, the Rookie and Pro Aerial Pack. Alright, so moving on, we got the boot. The boot is more of a come and go sort of power up. It's pretty effective against goalkeepers and is also quite savage. The only thing that you need to look out for is your positioning and getting in range of an opponent that you want to boot. There's been way too many times where I wanted to boot someone but they were just out of range. Not much else to really say about this power up. You can use it to counter your opposition's power ups and it does a good job overall. Okay, so next up is the Disruptor. Again, it's just like the boot, it's more of a come and go item. It's probably best to use this on an opponent that's about to attack the ball and goalkeepers that are not moving much. Just try not to use it on anyone with 0 boost, as what it's going to do is going to refill their boost back to 100, so that's not a good thing. I'd say it's always best to use this as soon as possible so you can cycle through your items and keep up your offense. That's pretty much it for this item. Alright, so next up is the swapper, or as I like to call it, the switcheroo. So if you have the time, you can make some really cheeky plays with this. What I love doing is driving up onto the ceiling or anywhere in the air, and then you just hit that teleport to ruin someone's day. I don't actually see many players utilizing this, but then again, it's more of an item that's get it over and done with kind of thing. You don't want to be holding onto this power up for too long. Okay, and finally the last power up being the tornado. For me right now, I can think of two uses for this. One being, which I'm pretty sure everyone would definitely know, and that is going after your opponents and trapping them within the tornado, like just being a nuisance essentially. You can do that, or there is the other way you can do, or from what I found out from experience, is that I don't think I've seen anyone else do this. But when you have the ball possession, what you can do is you can take the ball up the wall and you can use the tornado to kind of dribble it across the wall, and it's great if your team are in a sticky situation and you need to somewhat make it clear. And yeah, not really much else to say about the tornado. Again, you don't want to be holding on for it for too long. Again, you'll just want to get it over and done with and then cycle through to your next offensive item. So that's been it for this video essentially. I just wanted to do a video on some Rumble stuff, showing some cool tricks and what I love doing when I'm playing Rumble. And hopefully getting more of the community playing Rumble. Like, for me personally, I think it's a really underrated game mode. There's so much potential to score amazing stuff, and plus it can be really interesting to watch at a high level. I'm not, like, as I said, I'm not really good at these tutorial kind of videos, so I'm not sure how this video is going to turn out to be. But for those watching, do let me know what you thought of it. And there can be some others I can possibly do, such as air dribbling, learning about it and my experience with them. And also something I've been learning recently is pinching the ball. They are just super satisfying when it works. So if you guys ever want to see those kind of guides or like more insight videos, then do let me know, of course. And as you've already seen, I'm already working on the Cyclones OP video, as you can tell from the video already with me using it and such. I think that's about it really. I don't think I'm missing too much, so yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye bye.